What's up, you guys? It's Ben and welcome back to my channel where we talk about everything there is linked to selling on Amazon. So, see, recently there's been a massive influx of people that are thinking about selling on Amazon. They know the potential there is in e-commerce and online and selling on Amazon, and they want to get a piece of it effectively, which is absolutely fine. However, what I found with some of my students and people just in the comment section, they are really focusing about the actual business itself, i.e. doing the product research, i.e. speaking to suppliers, negotiation, PPC analysis, and all of these things. Now, of course, these things are very, very important and matter of fact vital for your business success. But what people tend to forget are the things that you need to do before starting to sell on Amazon, because there are a few things that you need to set up to make sure that you are starting on the right foot. Because guys, if you don't and you rush a few steps and you do things not in the correct order, at least in my opinion, you will be able to, you won't be able to sell on Amazon efficiently, effectively, and you may be making quite a few mistakes and may potentially run into a few problems later on down the line. So this video may not be the most entertaining video out there. However, guys, when it comes to running an Amazon FBA business, not everything is fun, not everything is entertaining. You have to know every little bit about your business and what exactly you need to do to set up your business the right way, which is exactly what I'm going to cover in this video. So guys, with that being said, guys, if you are interested in selling on Amazon and you're serious about it, then please don't forget to check the links down below for my own FBA Mentor Academy course that I literally set up not long ago. Otherwise, guys, if you're running on a relatively lower budget, then please don't forget to check the links down below for all of the business tools that I use and recommend to all of my students, such as Awesome, the best and most reliable e-commerce accountants out there in the market at the moment, Helium 10, hands down the best product research tool in the market, or Tide, the most user-friendly business bank account to start off your Amazon FBA business. And with that being said, guys, let's get straight to the video. Right, guys, so if you're going to be professional Amazon FBA seller, if you're going to be doing this full time in the long term, or at least this is the plan, then the first action and the first bit you're going to have to do is not set up a Amazon seller account, is not doing the product research. The first thing you have to do is going to be get incorporated, get a limited company. Now that is very, very easy to do. You can either do it yourself, you can get your accountant to do it, such as Awesome or Tide or whatever, but this is a very, very important step. Now, I know what you might be saying, guys. Well, I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be running an Amazon FBA business long term. What if it doesn't work out? Whatever. Do I have to do it straight away? However, guys, at the end of the day, you are going to start a business, okay? It doesn't matter if you're just going to do it from your laptop and you're not going to have actually any employees at the moment. You're setting up a business. That's how you should be looking at it, okay? And each and every single business needs to have a registered limited company name and various other things that we're going to be covering in this video. I understand it might be daunting, but what's the worst thing that can happen? Let's say you register a business and it doesn't do anything. Well, that's okay. You can easily dissolve it later on down the line without paying any fees. But what if it does do well? What if you actually set up a business and that gives you that kick up the arse that most people need to push into the next step? Maybe then set up an Amazon seller account. Well, now you got both things set up. Then maybe start doing product research, and step by step, you just start seeing your business evolve right before your very eyes. This is really, really important, guys. And the next step is very simple. Again, before seller account, guys, you need to set up a business bank account. Now, for those of you that don't know, or maybe haven't got experience running a business before, a business bank account is exactly the same as your own personal checkings account. The only difference is it's for your business. And you have to see it this way, guys. You have to separate the two completely. The business money is not your money, and your money is not the business's money. So when the business makes money, i.e. from selling on Amazon, and it gets reimbursed by Amazon, that is business's money and it goes directly into the business's bank account, okay? The company that you're going to set up is going to have its own sort of identity, effectively, its own taxes, its own business bank accounts, everything itself. And at this moment in time, you have to make sure you set all of these things up. Now, as you probably already know, I recommend Tide because in my experience and from some of my students, it is by far the most user-friendly business bank account to set up, and they're very, very quick at doing so. When I started, I actually set up with Lloyds. Now, they're a high street retail bank. They took a lot longer. I believe they actually took 2 weeks, But since I set up with them, I don't really like chopping and changing as the time goes, so I just stuck with them. But it's completely up to you which one you want to choose. And in my personal opinion, you may want to do some comparisons on such as a comparison site like this as to what each and every single bank offers. Some will have bank transfers that are free, others will give you free interest, others won't have any monthly fees or anything like that. Others may actually even give you money for joining up with them as well. So you have to weigh up what's important to you, where you're going to get the most amount of benefit, and then actually go with that provider. Now, if that provider screws up, if that provider is taking much longer than you think they should, i.e. days, weeks, potentially sometimes even months in some cases, then don't worry about it. Just go to another business bank account provider. They will be very happy to take your business as soon as possible. And if you actually speak to them that, hey, I've spoken to somebody else, okay, I'm trying to get my business bank account sorted, but they're dragging their feet, can you do it quicker? They will really push you up the line effectively and get you set up as quickly as possible, hopefully with doing much less checks as well. So with now the business and the business bank account sorted, what's next? Well, next is something that most of us really dread, and that is bookkeeping. It's really daunting actually for people that have never run a business before. But what you have to realize, guys, is that the business will have its own expenses, and you, only you, have to keep a track of them. Now, of course, you can employ an accountant or a bookkeeper such as Awesome to do these things for you. However, in the very beginning, when you're running on a relatively lower budget, I suggest potentially even doing this yourself initially if you're running on a relatively low budget. But bookkeeping is really important because, guys, when later on down the line the tax season comes in and you actually have to pay your corporation tax, you really want to provide as many expenses on the business as possible. So any sort of entertainment, any sort of petrol you've used, anything at all that you can put through the business, you really want to, because that way it will reduce your profits and therefore reduce your tax liability. Now, of course, I am not an accountant. This is literally me speaking from my own experience. I genuinely would recommend actually speaking to an accountant such as Awesome, where they can actually tell you a little bit more about bookkeeping, what you should do, what you should track, and how to really set in place everything you need to, so when the taxman does arrive, you have everything they need straight away and you know exactly how much you're going to be paying in corporation tax, in VAT, and so on and so forth. Next up, a tax accountant. Now, in the very beginning, I started off without an accountant, and quite frankly, I did decently. However, once the first year went past and I actually had to pay corporation tax, I realized the amount of mistakes I was making, the amount of things that I wasn't actually putting through as expenses, the amount of things I did completely wrong in terms of bookkeeping. And this is a big mistake that I made. And the reason why I did that is because I thought I can do it myself. I thought I'm going to be cheap and I'm actually don't need an accountant until I until I actually sign up for VAT, which is usually when you reach around £85,000 in revenue. However, guys, in my opinion and in my experience, an accountant is not a place that you want to be cheap on. The cheapest accountant is not necessarily the best one. In my personal experience, the best accountants are those that can actually explain the business to you, okay? You tell them that you are an Amazon FBA seller, that you're an e-commerce seller, and then they will tell you what they know about your business. And the more detail they can go into about your business, the better, the more knowledgeable they are, the more they understand about your business. Because understanding about a business is vital to an accountant. Running an Amazon seller account, running an Amazon business is very different to running a construction company, a lawyer's company, a restaurant, a corner shop, a garage, or whatever. So making sure an accountant such as Awesome, which are absolutely brilliant, understand the Amazon seller accounts and what exactly it takes to run a successful e-commerce business is vital. Now, in very beginning, you may not, sign up to them straight away, but actually having at least a consultation, see what they can offer, see what they can do for you is very beneficial. And like I said myself, this is one of the biggest mistakes that I made when I started off, because I literally, and I'm not exaggerating here, I could have saved thousands of pounds in taxes if I did things properly in the very beginning. And then last but not least, guys, you need to make a plan. Now, I understand you're just starting off. You haven't sold a single product on Amazon yet. what plan is there to make. But it's really, really important to figure out what you want to do in the next 6 months, into next year, into next 5 years, and so on, okay? Because without a plan effectively, you're going into it blind, okay? You need to figure out what you're going to do. So, for example, are you going to build a brand around a certain category of products? For example, are you going to build a brand around beauty products and you're going to be listing products in a certain niche? Or are you, for example, going to be selling anything that sells effectively, which is what I'm doing? Now, if you're going to sell anything that sells, then it's pretty easy and you look for the best trendy products that are selling on Amazon and you bring them out from China and you try to sell them at a profit. Pretty straightforward. However, when it comes to building a brand, you actually have to build a website around it. You have to think about custom packaging. You have to think about, gathering customer emails and potentially sending follow-up emails and newsletters and building your brand that way. Now, this sounds like a lot of work, and it is. However, when it comes to later on down the line selling your business, you'll be able to get a lot more money for that business because you actually have customer loyalty, you have reputation, you have a brand that you are effectively built up from the ground up with its Instagram page, with followers, with everything that you now can sell at a much, much bigger price, which is exactly what we spoke about a couple of months ago when I actually tried to sell my business and I got a lot less than what I was expecting. And that was precisely because I didn't have a brand and frankly, I didn't really have a plan when I started selling on Amazon. If I could go back in time, I would really consider building a brand from the ground up, and maybe I would be in a much better position now than I am currently. So besides that, guys, planning is also important when it comes to actually how much money you want to achieve in the first year. Now, it's difficult to say. However, let's say, for example, you're starting off on a £2,000 budget. Okay, what is realistic for you to have by the end of the year, for example? Well, in my opinion, anything between, let's say, 10 to 15,000 pounds in sales by the end of 2021 is actually not a bad result. Okay, from 2,000 pounds, I think it's very doable to sell around 10, 15,000 pounds. When I started in the month of July for 1,200 pounds, I had 25,000 pounds in sales by the end of that year. So having some sort of target, having some sort of goal is very, very beneficial in terms of motivation, in terms of having some sort of target to strive for. And then when it comes to your second year plan, then you can actually look at historical data and judge it from there. But it's really, really important because without, as they say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And it's really applicable when it comes to running an Amazon FBA business. So guys, that's pretty much it for today's video. I really hope you found it useful. And if you did, please don't forget to check the links down below for the FBA Mentor Academy course, for all of the affiliate links such as Awesome, Helium, or Tide. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.